Ladies and gentlemen, my name is CarminoGames, and this is Farm Factory Simulator Episode 2. So the plan for this episode, we are going to expand on our farm plots over here. I honestly forgot what they were called for a minute. So we're going to go ahead and do that. However, I am going to open the store for the day. Let's go ahead and do that first. Let me check on the chickens and see what we have for nutrition. So we still have 7 nutrition blends, so I think we should be good for a little bit longer on that. So my thought process behind this setup was actually pretty much spot on. So we keep having, the plants will die over time, but see, if you put another picker machine right behind the plots and set that new picker machine to plant waste, you can have that picker machine funnel that into a waste storage, and then if you just throw seeds behind the plant plots, on the supply arm settings, you can go in and you can choose the plant you want it to plant every time it runs out. Just throw the boxes behind it and it'll start to plant those for you. So now I have automatic waste retrieval and storage, and then also automatic replanting. I haven't seen anything in the store that allows you to store these boxes nicely aside from the seed storage machine. I don't know if that makes you somehow use more conveyor belts or if the arms will just grab right from the machine. I'm going to tinker around with that in a little bit and I'll let you guys know what I come up with. Okay, so I went ahead and I bought myself a seed storage module thingamabob. So basically what this will do is it will act as, your seed storage. So you buy your seeds from the store and then you'll throw them in here. And what it will basically do is your farm plot, the green arm here, will actually go and just grab seeds right out of this. What's nice is it does show you a live update for your quantities of seeds in here. You do, for stocking purposes, have to look at each individual section for your seeds to put more into it. You can't just, look at the machine and left click and it'll automatically go to the right one. You actually have to look at bell pepper plant for the bell pepper seeds. But so for right now, this setup is very compact. It's not very efficient. So what I'm going to do for this episode, now that we have 3 different plants going, what I want to do as my main goal, and you just see we leveled up just now, I want to make this section here alone more efficient. My goal is to have one more animal pen by the end of this video as well, either it be for chickens or something else. So it's looking like we actually have access to sheep now. So I'm thinking I might possibly order some sheep by the end of this video, get some, yarn stuff situated, get a loom set up. We'll see what this episode allows us to do. And then I will show you guys at the end our full new updated setup for the rest of the upcoming videos. Okay, so here's what we got. So I just updated and moved things around a little bit to make it a little bit more efficient. So what I ended up doing is I did 2 farm plots here, I did 3 in the middle, and then another 2 on the end. So the way this all works is basically we have a waste collector for each pair and or set of farm plots, and then a seed storage module in between 2 separate pairs. So the situation with the 3 in the middle is that the far right of the 3, so this plot here, actually can't reach this seed module here. It's just out of range. So what I have to do is, since these are eggplants, I'm going to be doing seeds for eggplants in that one and this one, so that way they'll all 3 be planted similarly in a time basis. However, I just realized, okay, so that one's all set up, but I don't think I actually set up all of these. Yeah, no, so that one's bell pepper. So I actually just lost a lot of bell peppers. That was a mess up on my part. Actually, I think I can put them all into boxes. I didn't realize they would fall on the ground. All right, cool. So now I can take those and shove them right in here. Beautiful. So you guys can see now that the pickers right there in the back will pick up the dead plants. It'll take the waste, shove it into the back picker, and then it'll go into the waste bin. However, when I have seeds put into the seed machine, it will, or seed storage module, I mean, these green arms here will actually take and plant new plants. But I don't think I have any more bell pepper seeds. I don't. So I do have to buy some more seeds. So I'm going to buy a little bit supply in bulk real quick because I keep running out. I'm just going to shove all these into the storages. I think I'm going to buy a stack of 10 each. That's 120 seeds. And then I'm going to go about with the day. Okay, so I just went ahead and I bought 120 seeds for each different plant. So what we are having an issue with now is that it's getting backed up in our conveyor lines with the mergers here. And then it's also getting a little backed up from time to time into our storage solution. So I think eventually what we're going to do is try and figure out a way to fix that. Sadly, I don't necessarily have an idea in mind at the moment. But I think what will happen is when I start messing around with different animal pens, I'll be able to make a better setup for that, which will negate me needing a merger here. And I think that will actually help a lot with the speed of this part here. But then for this situation here, we have 3 different inputs. So what I think I might do is I might end up moving this at some point, and then I'll utilize more than one input. But for now, this is what we're going to have to deal with. So in case you didn't know, a little tip for the game itself, if you walk over to a picker, you can actually right click it and it'll show you the area of which it can actually extend its arm to and grab something. So if you're a little concerned about your area being too wide or anything like that, make sure you go over, right click your picker machines, and then that'll give you a better understanding of, what you can actually work with. So we're going to go over here and talk to our man Otto, see what he has to say. It looks like he's actually shown a little bit of interest in our farm, but he also looks very concerned. Turns out Otto is just envious that we use machinery. It seems he does not like us. Kind of reminds me of a mother-in-law situation going on here. Okay, so what Otto wants us to do first is to just harvest 18 tomato plants. He wants us to have 18 tomato plants being grown. So what I can do is I'm going to add another picker or plant farm module and just have more tomatoes being grown. I don't even know how I actually want to do that yet, because we have limited space right in this section. I'll figure it out and I'll show you guys what I did. Okay, so to appease our man Otto, what I did is I did a temporary little setup. I just added another plant farm machine right in front of my other tomato plant one. So this is just barely within the range of my waste collector. You can see it's literally right on the edge. It should start collecting the waste once the plants die. This is going to actually get that quest all set up for Otto once it's done planting them. I just placed it down, so it's taking its little sweet time to get it all situated, but once it is, that quest should be situated and completed, and then we'll move on to the next step after that. Alright, it's a new store day, so what I did just now is I set this one to chicken eggs, this one to eggplants, this one to tomatoes, and this one to bell pepper only. So these will always be those. And then these last 2 I have just kind of for whatever. That way if we have overflow, they can go right into here. But at least when I have, a quest on the right situated where I have to sell a certain amount of some things, these are the 4 things that I have right now on hand anyway. So that way I can automatically start working towards those. Oh my god, he just took a lot of tomatoes. That way I can start working towards all of these quests as needed. Old man Otto is here. Let's see what he wants to complain about now. So we did what he wanted. He still doesn't like us. That's fine. He kind of looks like a stubbed toe. That's fine as well. That's his mother's problem, not ours. We're gonna get going on those chicken eggs. We ain't gonna lose sleep over old man Otto. So I think I figured out part of the backup problem that I was having right here in the corner. My mergers were all set to the default speed, to that 2 arrow speed. I just set them all to 3, and it seems like it's starting to fix its problem a little bit. Not entirely, it's still getting backed up now over by the storage area. You can see it all getting piled up right there, but that's fine. So right now, at least part of that situation is fixed. Alright, so it's looking like we got hippie grandma over here, so we're gonna go see what she wants to talk about. Hopefully she doesn't complain as much as old man Otto does. Okay, so she basically just wants us to sell a certain amount of eggs per day. It's looking like she wants us to sell 60 eggs per day for 2 days in a row. I don't think that should be too much of a problem, but we shall see. Let me actually go ahead, and I'm going to trigger this one to be eggs only as well. And then I think that'll actually help us out a lot. Or rather, you know what, I'm gonna put this as eggplant, and then this one as eggs. That way eggs are right next to each other, and then we can just continue on with those. So I just read that the drone delivery system, I may be understanding it a little wrong, but it basically said that you can sell to certain clients directly, and then it'll collect the order, and then it'll sell it pretty much above market value. So you actually get more money doing it this way. So I think I might put this. I'm gonna put these over here in the corner a little bit, kind of out of the way. So I think they should be able to get themselves situated, but I'm wondering. Okay, so I need to pay 500, 3,500, and 6,500 to unlock these certain ones. It does require level 10. I am level 10 right now. So once I get that money, I'm going to go ahead and unlock this one. And then I think that should actually help us start bringing in a lot more money faster. Because right now we are struggling. I mean, we got $207 to our $232 to our name right now. And I accidentally bought this expansion. I thought the door was still going to be here. It would have made things a little bit easier to separate, but never mind that. That was a purchase that I should not have done just yet, because I did not need it. My original plan for expanding in here was to start the byproduct production, so like your processing stuff. I was going to put a cannery press in here and all that stuff, but you can't even actually put these in here, I don't think. Could be wrong. I haven't tried yet, but it seems like a lot of other machinery has to be outside. I wouldn't be totally surprised if the processing stuff had to be placed indoors. But nevertheless, that's alright. We'll figure it out as we go. I am going to start some cucumber production because I do want to get into pickles eventually. So I'm going to go ahead and change both of these to cucumbers. And then that will hopefully speed us along with that. And then that gives us one more thing to sell as well. Okay, so to go ahead and speed this process up for the 60 eggs per day, I just changed 4 of my racks to chicken eggs only. So that should help us generate some more. I've already sold 13 more eggs since that has been done, and it's literally been maybe a minute. So I think that should actually help us out a decent amount. And then I'll have the same setup for the next day for the store being opened. And then once that's done completely, I'll change all this back to the variation of produce. And I mean, you guys can absolutely, set up your store the way you want. Just because I'm doing it this way doesn't mean you have to. Not that I'm assuming you guys are. But, like, for instance, if you have your price control over here, you can actually see that the eggs right now are at a high for $10 per unit. My cucumbers are at 8, and my tomatoes are actually low at a $5 price per unit. So I'm actually making more money just by doing mostly chicken eggs right now. And then the various cucumbers, whenever they actually get harvested, I'm not sure if they actually... Okay, so some of them are finally being harvested now, but nevertheless, those chicken eggs are actually netting us a lot of money. So we actually already just finished stage 1 of that quest for this day. So theoretically, what I could do is I could go in and, you know, force end the day by going into the menu here, force end day. I'm gonna lose out on, you know, profit for the day, so I'm gonna actually probably switch these back to a variation of produce. That way I can start selling some of the other stuff again, and that way I don't, you know, sell out of my chicken eggs and then I'm screwed for the next day. So I just went ahead and I grabbed a whole 24 medium box of bell peppers. I'm going to go ahead and supply the commodity for this. That will complete the order, and now the drone is going to take it off. And what's nice is on the monitor right above the drone station, that actually does give you a countdown of how long it is going to take for it to be delivered. And then it should be back here in the station, and you should be able to, you know, restart another contract. A thing to note that it does say right below the drone operates from 8:10 to 7 p.m. So I recommend just keeping an eye on your time if you're like trying to main the drone deliveries for a little bit. Anything past 7 o'clock, it's not going to work. So right now, the Willow Lane Depot is now asking for paprika sauce. We don't have the capability at the moment of making paprika. So what you can do down here is refresh your order, and then that will give you a new order to fulfill. But unfortunately, it just gave us paprika sauce again. So I'm going to try and do a refresh one more time. So now this one we can, you know, supply, and they can actually get what they want. So one little note again for this drone delivery system, guys. If you guys take your medium or large or any other size box, if it exceeds the amount that the order is asking for, so like right now I grabbed a box of 24, the order is asking for 18. You guys can see that right there. It won't go past that. So that is a little nice thing to know. You don't have to take multiple trips just to try and get it exact. So just go big and then replace the extra back into your storage and call it a day. Alright, the complainer, Old Man Otto, is back. Let's see what he wants. Man, I really don't like him. He complains a lot. So we gotta grow some more tomato plants for Old Man Otto. I think I might actually change the setup in the next episode. But that is going to be it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. My name is CarminoGames, and I greatly appreciate all you guys. Feel free to, you know, leave a like below and subscribe if you guys want to watch some more of this stuff. Entirely up to you. It helps me a lot. It is free. But nevertheless, guys, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.